Hello, it's great to be here. Thank you so much. Gosh, this room, well, all of you are representing something so important to the UK economy. The founders, the investors, the policymakers, the leaders who are shaping what the UK economy looks like next. And it is so good to be here. And thank you to the Prime Minister and all my fellow speakers. I am so excited at the ambition we all share for the UK, for growth, for skills, for investment, and for what's to come. Because we are truly living through a defining moment, not just in technology, but in economic possibility. There is no doubt that the UK economy has huge potential for growth. That is why we are investing £8 billion in building data and operating and maintaining data centres here in the UK so that every organisation can unlock the potential of AI. Because we believe that AI adoption is the fastest route to unlocking economic growth. And done right, this means that entire industries can be transformed, releasing £35 billion in productivity gains here in the UK, and a workforce that is ready for what comes next. It is clear that the technology is here. However, adoption is uneven, and that adoption gap has a cost. The question isn't whether AI can deliver, it's whether we have the ambition to unlock the possibilities and the potential for economic growth. Let me bring that to life, and let me show you the art of the possible. At AWS, we needed to completely rebuild the inference engine behind Amazon Bedrock from scratch. Now, if you'd asked me 2 years ago what that would have taken, I would have said 40 engineers, 12 months, and a whole lot of coffee. 6 engineers did it in 76 days. How? Because they weren't working alone. They were working alongside Kiro, our agentic developer tool. Agents that wrote code, tested it, found bugs, fixed them, deployed them around the clock. While the engineers slept, the agents kept building. 6 people, 76 days. That's not a prediction about the future. That's already happened. And right here in the UK, nearly 2/3 of organisations have now adopted AI. That's one new business every 40 seconds. We're leading in Europe, well ahead of the European average of 54%. And this is only the beginning. From what I've observed, working alongside hundreds of organisations here in the UK and globally, AI adoption is evolving through 2 distinct waves. The first wave is employee productivity, the tools that gave teams to work faster and smarter. The second is reimagining how entire business functions operate. So let me take you through each one. The first wave is about giving teams to do what they already do, but faster and smarter. For example, the UK Department of Work and Pensions receives 25,000 letters a day. Processing them used to take 5 weeks. Using generative AI, they've cut categorization and routing time dramatically. And they are now able to get the right case to the right people on day 1 instead of week 5. But productivity is just the first wave. The real question is whether organizations go deeper. Because the next wave of AI isn't waiting. Agentic AI, AI that reasons, plans, and acts autonomously, is here. The second wave moves beyond productivity to transformation, reimagining critical business processes through the use of advanced AI. But here's the catch. While basic AI adoption is up in the UK, the depth of advanced AI adoption is stalling. More than half of organizations are still at the most basic level. Off-the-shelf chatbots, simple automation, summarizing documents. You could argue that it's like owning a smartphone and only using it to make phone calls. Only 24% are using advanced AI, meaning combining models, custom systems, or agentic AI. And that figure has risen by just 1% over the last year. And depth really does matter. A great example of a customer embracing advanced AI is the London Stock Exchange. They built a market intelligence platform on AWS using advanced AI to turn trillions of data points into actionable insights, reducing analysis from days to under an hour. Or Capita. They're using Amazon Connect's AI voice agents to serve 1.6 million UK residents. Routine inquiries that used to queue for a human agent are now being resolved instantly, freeing their teams for the conversations that truly need empathy and judgment. Even closer to home, Amazon Retail handles over 12 billion minutes of customer conversations every single year. And through the use of AI, we are now delivering responses that are faster, sharper, and more personalized than ever before, turning every customer interaction into a competitive advantage, providing insight, anticipation, and experiences that were simply not possible before. And that's the shift from improving what exists to completely redefining the experience. The gap between basic and advanced use of AI is where the value is. With advanced AI, users report 68% efficiency gains. That's not marginal. That's transformational. However, too many companies are still using AI at the margins. And as we look ahead, by truly embracing advanced AI at scale in their organizations, we can see a third wave, because the history of technology is a history of removing constraints. And every breakthrough in innovation has been about removing a barrier that has held companies back. When organizations master the first two waves, they unlock something bigger, the ability to push into genuinely new territory. However, our research shows that only 21% of UK businesses even feel ready. Many are being held back by the skills gaps, because that's what underpins it, isn't it? Skills. Without skills, the first wave stalls at basic automation, and without skills, the second wave never moves past the pilots. Almost 50% of UK businesses cite skills shortages as the single biggest barrier to expanding their use of AI. And the skills gap just doesn't slow you down. It's limiting what is possible. When your teams don't have the capability, well, innovation, it stalls. But here's what gives me hope. 67% of workers say that they want to learn and they want to develop their AI skills. The appetite is clearly there. As leaders, we need a clear strategy to invest in human capital as much as the tech capital. That's why AWS launched the Skills to Job Tech Alliance with the goal of giving 100,000 people AI skills by 2030. Workers with AI skills earn more and advance faster. The labor market evolves, and those skills to work alongside AI will become the ones who shape what comes next. And what I've learned is this. The organizations that unlock the most value from AI are the ones who are putting people at the center of the transformation. So, we've discussed the three waves. We reignite, we reimagine, we reinvent, and it's all underpinned by skills. But what does it actually mean to lead through these phases. There are 5 critical areas that leaders need to address and that need to be addressed simultaneously because these really aren't one-time decisions. They're the questions that will define how your organization leads through every single wave that follows. The first is ethics. How do you build responsible AI practices that accelerate innovation rather than hinder it? Trust drives adoption, and adoption drives innovation. The second is cost. 89% of businesses expect AI to take a larger share of IT spending over the next 3 years. How and where you invest is critical for fending off disruption. The third is security and governance. As AI moves from tools that generate answers to agents that act across your entire enterprise, you are going to need to govern what AI is actually doing, not just what it's producing. And then fourth, the workforce and skills. The investment here just isn't optional. It's the multiplier that makes everything else work. And then lastly, business model change. The organizations capturing the most value aren't doing what they've always done before, but just faster. They're asking a key question. What becomes possible now that wasn't possible before? Now, none of these 5 decisions are ones that you need to make alone, and the partner you choose to invent alongside you matters just as much as the decisions themselves. That's why we're proud to work with organizations of every kind, from global enterprise to the most ambitious startups, all on their own journey of reinvention, using our technology from infrastructure and compute right through to AI. Because at the heart of AWS, we have a simple belief: customer choice. Customer choice means access to the world's best AI models, the most extensive cloud infrastructure globally, with the security and governance your business demands. That's why we've built Amazon Bedrock to bring the world's frontier models, Anthropic, Meta, Mistral, and most recently the OpenAI models, into your environment, under your rules, with the security controls that you already trust. The stakes are real. 35 billion in productivity gains waiting to be unlocked in the UK. But that number is not inevitable. It requires leadership. It requires the people in this room to commit, to invest in their people, to go deep on adoption, and to push into territory that hasn't yet been mapped. The organizations that define the next decade won't be the ones that played it safe. They'll be the ones that led with conviction, through uncertainty, through complexity, and build something that didn't exist before. That's the opportunity, and it's yours. Thank you, and enjoy London Tech Week.